Summer 2023 has been a roller coaster with some significant ups, but also some significant downs. And of course, the strikes, which are putting some upcoming films in danger of not meeting their 2024 release dates. So we're going to take a look at summer 2024 as it looks right now. But remember, some of these movies might not make it. Although most of them, to be fair, have already finished filming. Good job, Hollywood! But that just means there's a delay coming down the pipeline after summer 2024. But most of these movies, they'll be ready. If they don't do their release date, it'll be for a different reason. You know, Hollywood's always futzing with the release schedule. And as we go through this, you know, we've seen a couple of release date decisions over the past year or so that are so obviously stupid, we can't believe that they did that. So if you see any of those here, be sure to give a holler down below. So as Marvel has done for over a decade now, they're kicking off yet another summer movie season, this time with Deadpool 3. But maybe, because this was one of the most high-profile films that was forced to be put on hold mid-filming due to the actors' strike. The travesty! Although there are some rumors that the strikes might get wrapped up sooner rather than later, because it is starting to be really difficult on the industry. Now, that delay, though, means more bad news for Marvel, which has been having its first rough streak ever. But Deadpool 3 is supposed to help fix that as a No Way Home, but for the Fox Marvel movies. Oh, so cool. So cool. It looks fantastic. If this movie can make this release date, kicking off the summer movie season, it should be huge and will do a lot to return Marvel to its previous glory. Then while Amanda Seyfried didn't get the role of Sue Storm, sorry for those of you who are rooting for her. I thought she would have been good. She wasn't my top choice, but I wouldn't have hated it. But you know what? Don't cry for Amanda Seyfried. She's got a cool movie coming up. This is like her Bridesmaids, where she co-stars with Ariana DeBose, Liza Koshy, and SNL's Chloe Fineman. What an opportunity for Fineman. Where they are four friends who get a drunk call from an old friend they haven't seen in a while who confesses that she's getting married and maybe she's making a mistake. They ride at dawn to try to help her. This is from Pitch Perfect, and Kay Cannon helped create Pitch Perfect, and then she went on to write and direct the Cinderella movie for Amazon, which I thought was pretty good despite the controversy, which kind of weighed it down. But I think Kay Cannon is talented, and I think this is a good cast, so this might actually be something. As for Memorial Day weekend, the rest of May isn't filled out quite yet, but one of these movies might want to go there. Because Warner Brothers, Disney's Fox, Sony, and Paramount all want a piece of Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend isn't even a slam dunk release date. We've seen many movies die there. But one of these has to blink because this is ridiculously overscheduled. Here's a real obvious ridiculousness. So Warner Brothers, they have the Furiosa prequel with Anya Taylor-Joy taking over for Charlize Theron, and Charlize Theron has made it clear she was not happy about that. So will she continue to kind of like cast a shadow over this film because of the ageism, or will Warner Brothers be like, what's it going to take to make you give this the thumbs up? I would do that if I were Warner Brothers, although I never would have done that to Charlize Theron in the first place, as much as I like Anya Taylor-Joy. And Chris Hemsworth is in this as well. Will it be one of his brighter moments, or, you know, one of the not so great movies that seems to be his hallmark outside of the MCU besides Extraction? Then Fox, Disney's Fox, has the latest Planet of the Apes movie, with Disney trying to revive that franchise. But for some reason, they gave it to the Maze Runner's Wes Ball to direct. What? That seems ridiculous to me. It's not like he went and made a hot indie in between. That's his last movies, the Maze Runner films, which were okay. But I'm not like, hey, give this man an iconic franchise. And then Garfield is coming out supposedly this weekend, which is a CGI live-action hybrid. You know, people laugh at Chris Pratt getting all these voiceover roles, but you know what? He's been delivering. And this is the movie that Nicholas Hoult gets. He misses out on so many big movies due to not landing the gig or scheduling issues, but he was available for Garfield, and you know what? I hope it's a huge hit for him. Maybe some of that Chris Pratt magic will rub off on him. And then John Krasinski has his Quiet Place follow-up with Imaginary Friends, where he and Emily Blunt are working together again, but this time we're joined by Ryan Reynolds and Matt Damon. Ooh, that's a lot of star power. So Garfield can counter-program, but two of the other three gots to move. So as you might recall, June 2023 was a real clusterfuck, just as March was. Has Hollywood learned their lesson? they have not, because June 2024 is also jam-packed. The month kicks off with John Wick spin-off Ballerina, and Keanu Reeves so personifies this franchise, he will cameo here. But will people be interested in a non-John Wick movie? This is a very big test for Ana de Armas. She did a nice job in Bond, but here she'll be the lead. And so it's a big test. I think a lot of it will rely on the quality of the fight sequences and if they're as creative as John Wick. And then also some of the actors they can get to play, who she's going to be going up against. But, also I think the Continental Peacock show might dilute this brand a little bit right before this movie comes out. I don't know how smart that was, but let's see. She'll have a fight in theaters as well with Warner Brothers horror film The Watchers, starring Dakota Fanning and Barbarian's Georgina Campbell. So nice to see her get a lot of work off of Barbarian. Set to go head-to-head with Ballerina. Or maybe not, because this film hasn't finished filming yet, so might not be able to make this release date. And on that note, will Inside Out 2 really be ready this fast? It was only announced last year. Is it ready 2 years later? Were they secretly working on it? Maybe. But it's part of Bob Iger's plan to bring back the Disney luster with sequel. Although sequels didn't work out so well in 2023, so it might not be a good plan after all. But Pixar sure could use another one of their old school mega hits, which they haven't had in quite some time. Although Inside Out was one of them, so we'll see. Speaking of sequels, Bad Boys 4 is also set to open this weekend, capitalizing on the new Juneteenth federal holiday. But has Juneteenth really become a movie-going type holiday? It still seems very serious to me, with people really invested in what the holiday represents. So is Bad Boys 4, with all the Will Smith baggage, really how audiences will want to celebrate Juneteenth? Maybe. Let's see. Speaking of tests, huge test for Will Smith, who, of course, this is his first major film after the slap. He's done a few things here and there, but this is the first real big test to see if he can still launch a commercial film. And, the last Bad Boys was huge. So, it'll be the slap if it doesn't work out. Then for now, the month closes out with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. But who knows? Nobody saw Part 1. What a flaw. They didn't see that coming. This is the Dial of Destiny date from this year, 2023, positioned to open right before 4th of July, so it plays for both weekends. And this time, Tom Cruise maybe should be able to hold on to IMAX screens at least for 2 weeks. At least, although maybe even not that. He only had IMAX screens for 1 week with Part 1, and if Part 1 had done better, I think that maybe Tom Cruise could have had a stronger argument to hold on to the IMAX screens for Part 2. But I think people are he fought a good fight, but now people have seen how the first one fared, or IMAX screens have, and they're going to be like, I think I'm going to take my chances with some of these other movies. But you tell me what you think about Tom Cruise's ability to maybe hold on to the IMAX screens. Like if Disney's Mufasa prequel makes its July 5th release date 1 week later, that's it for Cruise. He's sunk. That is going to be a visually stunning film, and it will be a largely new story, so people are going to show up for that. I think even though people are a little tired and burned by Disney live-action adaptations, The Lion King is a very special brand. And again, it's new. It's a new story. Then Despicable Me 4 doesn't need IMAX, but it will take over the Dolby screens. This franchise is a juggernaut, consistently bringing in $1 billion or close per entry, again and again and again. And on that note, with Mufasa, they're basically going to be going up against each other. Can those two family movies go head to head? Although I'm not sure who would blink, because again, they're both billion-dollar franchises. So who would move? And Universal's really coming after Disney these days. I think both of them might not move, because I think they're both, and maybe the 4th of July holiday is big enough for both of them. We'll see. But what are they going to do about the premium screens? I guess it would be Mufasa IMAX, Despicable Me 4 Dolby, and Cruise loses that again with Barbenheimer all over again. It's Mufasa Me, right? We'll combine them together. Then, maybe Venom 3 could take over IMAX screens the week after. But the last entry was so weak. Again, I don't know if anyone would want to gamble on Venom after Venom 2. But we'd have to know more about who Tom Hardy's Venom will be going up against here, just to see how the movie's taking shape. But Twisters, this is one that a lot of you, we discussed this recently. Some of you are like, I'd like to see Twisters on IMAX, and I see where you're coming from. It has a very strong cast with Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos, Sabrina, the new Superman, and Katie O'Brien, who it looks like maybe isn't going to get Abby in The Last of Us, but she's so good in Star Wars, I'm glad she's getting work. But yeah, Twisters and that cast, let's go. But from the director of Minari, that's going to be quite the creative pivot. Then closing out July is Captain America Brave New World, which was supposed to kick off the summer originally, but got pushed back, and Deadpool 3 took that date because I think Deadpool 3 was considered more of a easy home run, and Marvel's having so many difficulties. But with Deadpool 3 now on pause because of the SAG strike, could Captain America 4 and Deadpool 3 maybe switch places yet again? We'll see. Can Anthony Mackie, though, truly take over the Captain America role? I really like him in it, and I thought he was great in the Disney Plus series, but not everybody gelled with it as much as I did, and maybe some of you. Also, will Harrison Ford be a great Red Hulk or phone it in, right? I mean, his indie did not do well, and he was into that. And will a rainbow of Hulks be super fun or more pain like the She-Hulk show? Tricky, tricky, tricky. As for August, this is also an unusually crowded and I think strong month. This might be better spaced out. Let's see. Now, traditionally, it's the first weekend of August, which is considered a prime spot for wild card blockbusters. The first Guardians made that happen, and ever since, some have succeeded there and some have not. But in 2024, it's the second weekend of August that's getting all the action. Maybe because of the Olympics, which actually go through the second week of August, actually, but maybe they feel by then nobody will care. So Sony Animation's Harold and the Purple Crayon kicks off August for the first weekend, but then the second weekend of August, Lionsgate is going to try to finally release Borderlands. Like, why wouldn't they put that in the first weekend of August? That is a perfect first weekend of August movie, but we'll see how it does in the second weekend. This is the video game adaptation with a ridiculously good cast. You're like, how did you get Cate Blanchett to do a video game adaptation? But it has undergone extensive reshoots and has been significantly delayed. And rumor has it that the latest reshoots didn't even involve director Eli Roth. Ouch, but maybe it worked. They pulled Gareth Edwards off of Rogue One, and that turned out fabulous. So let's see. And Universal has a horror film as well this next summer, 2024. Every studio wants to be in the horror business these days because it is lucrative. And Speak No Evil has a very charismatic cast. James McAvoy, where you been, man? I'm excited to see you again. Plus Flint Strong, about real-life female boxer T-Rex with Barry Jenkins, big summer for him potentially, writing the screenplay, while Ryan Coogler's longtime DP Rachel Morrison makes her directorial debut. Sounds good. Then the weekend after that, Disney will try to revive another Fox franchise in summer 2024, this time Alien, with Fede Alvarez taking over as writer-director. Mixed feelings on that because he has a spotty track record. And the cast also seems a bit slasher movie, right? It's not Sigourney Weaver or Michael Fassbender, I'm afraid. But, I'm open to being pleasantly surprised, because wouldn't it be great if Alien could come back? Then this is interesting. Sony decided to move Crayon from October 2023 to Labor Day weekend 2024. And it has been surprising that more movies haven't tried to capitalize on the Labor Day weekend because Shang-Chi did so well there back in 2021. We'll see how Equalizer 3 does this year. Now, we have a movie to kick off the summer movie season. Why not one to end it, right? But Hollywood has always been afraid of the Labor Day weekend because it's the last summer weekend officially, and a lot of people want to just be outside and not go to a movie theater. But Shang-Chi, again, did well here. So this is either a brilliant idea or Crayon is being sent here to die. And I think a lot of it also depends on the quality of the movie itself. Does Sony have another Venom 1 or another Morbius? I think we can't even tell. I think it could go either way at this point. So that's summer 2024 as of right now. Do you see any winners here? How about any losers? And again, are there any obviously stupid release date decisions? And what would you do about that Memorial Day weekend traffic jam? Share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.